You were born into a poor family, yet because of a sudden accident, you gained a special ability, the power to control all the water in the world and command the water demons. The man's name was Noah. He had originally been living a peaceful life with his father. Although the two of them weren't wealthy, they were happy every day, living a carefree and worry-free life. But a sudden accident completely shattered this peaceful life. When Noah opened his eyes, seeing the two familiar yet unfamiliar people in front of him made his heart tighten. After listening to Zane and Leon, Noah finally understood that the beautiful life he had experienced before was nothing more than an illusory dream. In reality, he had already been in this world for 2.5 months. According to his memories, although Noah had lost his mother when he was very young, his father's unconditional love and care had given him a fairly happy childhood. It had also made up for the regrets Noah had carried from his previous life. And this world seemed to possess extraordinary powers. Not only could humans become powerful cultivators through training, but even certain animals could cultivate and transform into demons. Since Noah still didn't have a clear understanding of the original owner's memories and circumstances, he was tied up by Zane and Leon and taken onto a boat to be used as bait to lure out a water beast. Just then, a huge black shadow appeared beneath the boat. Leon was immediately terrified. Didn't the information say it was only half a person tall? But judging by its appearance, it was already over 100 meters long. While Leon was still stunned, the water beast suddenly attacked the girl. Seeing this, Noah immediately prepared himself. After waiting for years, he had finally gotten a chance to make a name for himself. Leon swung his sandbag-sized fist toward the water beast and shouted loudly, 10 years of power are packed into this punch. Can you take it? The narrator thought Leon was about to show off with some incredibly powerful move. But unexpectedly, the very next second, Leon was swallowed straight into the water. Beast's stomach. The sight completely terrified Zane. To save his own life, Zane immediately stabbed Noah's palm with a dagger. He then kicked Noah straight into the lake. After using all his strength to free himself from the ropes, Noah's consciousness had already become blurry. He didn't know how many minutes had passed. When Noah opened his eyes again, he unexpectedly saw his father, who had already died from serious illness. Without hesitation, he used all his remaining strength to swim toward the surface. After finally managing to climb out of the water beast dragged him back into the depths. As the man and the beast sank deeper and deeper, Noah's consciousness once again began to fade. Just as the water beast opened its enormous mouth and was about to swallow him, a bronze cauldron suddenly appeared out of nowhere. It continuously emitted an ancient aura. Then, a mysterious and ethereal voice entered Noah's ears. Cauldron activation in progress. A Zay spirit has been detected. Water monkey acquired. Successfully. Ability can now be awakened. Water adaptation. Body restoration in progress. As the voice faded away, Noah slowly opened his eyes. He was completely bewildered. He clearly remembered that he had already woken up moments earlier, yet now, not only had all his injuries completely healed, he could even move through the water as easily as walking on land. Noah looked at the energy constantly flowing through his hands. Ability, water flow control, consumes physical energy to control the flow of water. To his surprise, Noah discovered that he could even breathe underwater. But just as he was celebrating this discovery, the water beast suddenly opened its enormous mouth and lunged toward him again. Reacting purely on instinct, Noah became so frightened that he tightly closed his eyes. But after several seconds, nothing happened. He slowly opened his eyes again. The water beast was still right in front of him, its enormous mouth wide open, yet it remained completely motionless. Noah immediately realized that what he had heard in his mind earlier, even in his dream, was all true. According to the information he had received, he was no longer restricted while underwater. In fact, he could even control the water around him. However, this control ability had a limited duration. So Noah had no choice but to dodge the water beast's attacks while desperately thinking of a way to deal with it. Just as he was thinking about how he could tame the water beast, another notification suddenly appeared before his eyes. Ability: Blood Contract Talisman. Acquisition successful. Effect: by inscribing a rune using the host's blood, a contract can be formed with a water beast. After hearing the system's explanation, Noah finally felt relieved. He first used the flowing water to restrain the beast. Then, he quickly drew the blood contract talisman on his hand. Finally, he slapped the talisman directly onto the water beast's forehead. The water beast immediately went berserk, frantically swimming around underwater. At the same time, strange, inhuman changes began appearing in Noah's eyes and on his face. Noah suddenly realized that he was apparently engaged in a battle of mental strength with the water beast. But even though Noah was fighting with everything he had, he was still no match for the beast. He could feel himself gradually being overwhelmed and assimilated by it. Suddenly, memories from his previous life flashed through his mind. The days when he had been seriously ill and lying in a hospital bed. That memory gave Noah an undeniable determination to survive. Once again, he drew the blood contract talisman on his hand and fiercely slammed it onto the beast's forehead. At the same time, a powerful roar echoed through the water. A moment later, Noah's figure appeared on the shore. He immediately collapsed on the ground, gasping heavily for breath. At that moment, the giant crocodile that had been underwater also slowly surfaced. But this time, it didn't attack Noah. Instead, it obediently moved toward him and stretched its head out as if greeting its master. Looking at the giant crocodile in front of him, Noah instructed it to stay peacefully in the lake for now. If anything happens, I'll call for you. The reason Noah could trust it so completely was because of their newly established contract. Once the contract was successfully formed, a mental connection was created between them. Both sides could communicate with each other through this connection. The next day, Zane blamed Noah entirely for Leon's death. He gathered several men and went to Noah's house to settle the score. Watching the group walk away, Noah's friend Liam immediately realized that Noah was about to face serious trouble. Meanwhile, Zane was already thinking about killing Noah and looting everything valuable from his house. Soon, Zane and the others arrived at Noah's doorstep. An old man kicked the door open, but the moment they looked inside, they were completely stunned. They had expected to find the water beast's supposed victim lying dead inside. Yet the giant crocodile, which should have been inside the water beast's stomach, was actually sitting there perfectly fine. Noah, still half asleep, looked at them and casually asked, "What are you guys doing here?" He acted as if absolutely nothing had happened. Unexpectedly, the man leading the group, Steward Zhao, merely let out a cold snort before ordering his men to capture Noah. Noah was about to ask what was going on, but in the very next second, a powerful punch slammed directly into his stomach. With someone backing him up, Zane immediately became arrogant. Master Zhao wanted to help the people of this village, so he specifically spent a large amount of money to hire the cultivator Leon to capture the water monster. But you, on the other hand, actually colluded with the water monster and killed Master Leon. Not only did you cause the Zhao Manor to suffer huge losses, but you also put all the villagers in danger. Even after Noah explained what had actually happened, the group still refused to let him go. Although using his powers now might expose his abilities, seeing how far these people were willing to go, Noah realized that there was no longer any reason to keep hiding his strength. Noah immediately broke free from his restraints and knocked away one of the men standing nearby. He thought to himself, if you keep pushing a tiger, don't be surprised when it bites back. Constantly tolerating people like this will only make them more reckless. Even if I really become the monster they claim I am, I'll make sure to take a bite out of them first. Seeing that Noah actually dared to resist, Zane quickly moved beside Steward Zhao. Why don't we just take this kid back to the Zhao Manor? We happen to be looking for someone to raise that little beast anyway. This orphan, with no father or mother, seems like the perfect candidate. As soon as he heard this, Steward Zhao gave an evil smile. Kid, if you agree to become Master Zhao's adopted son, we'll let this matter go. But if you refuse, we'll break both your legs today. As the argument continued, the villagers gathered outside began whispering among themselves. Is the Zhao Manor taking in another adopted son? I heard several people from the neighboring county went to the Zhao Manor, and none of them were ever heard from again. Just as everyone was discussing the matter, a voice suddenly came from the side. I'd like to see who dares bully little Noah here. It was Liam, Noah's friend, supporting an elderly man as they walked over. The old man was the village head, and unlike the others, he wasn't intimidated by anyone from the Zhao Manor. His presence immediately made Steward Zhao look uncomfortable. He was just about to argue back when the old village head cut him off. Even your master has to show me some respect. If you don't leave right now, I might as well lie down right here. And unless you pay me 10 or 20,000, don't even think about leaving. The people from the Zhao Manor instantly lost all of their arrogance. With no other choice, they finally left, bringing this entire farce to an end. After everyone had gone, the old village head reminded Noah, if there's trouble you can avoid, then avoid it whenever possible. With those words, the old man left first. After the old village head left, Noah stood there blankly for a couple of seconds, staring at his newly awakened abilities. Deep down, he knew very well that the people from the Zhao Manor would never simply let this matter go. The village head wouldn't be able to protect him every single time. In the end, becoming stronger was the only real solution. Just then, a notification suddenly sounded in his mind. Water essence detected. Pet evolution progress increased by 0.1. Noah immediately rushed to the lake and summoned the giant crocodile he had tamed the previous day. The next second, the once calm surface of the lake erupted into deep blue waves that looked almost like a spiritual storm. The waves suddenly exploded into a massive curtain of water. From within it, a tiny creature jumped out. Noah stared at the little creature in confusion. Where did my giant crocodile go? Another notification appeared. Water beast, chibi crocodile. Energy consumption, extremely low. Evolution progress increased by 1. The size of a tamed water beast can be changed according to its master's wishes, allowing the master to control its energy consumption. Noah finally understood what had happened. He then asked the little crocodile where it had found the water essence and told it to lead the way. Soon, they arrived at the entrance of an underwater cave. After entering the cave, Noah was stunned by what appeared before his eyes. The entire ground was covered with lotus roots, emitting a brilliant golden light. Noah couldn't help but marvel. Could these really be the legendary treasures? The moment Noah's hand touched one of the lotus roots, another notification appeared. In his mind, water essence containing. Treasure containing water essence detected. Host, please choose whether to absorb it. In this world, there were certain rare treasures that had absorbed extraordinary energy. These plants possessed various special effects and were known as treasure plants. The reason the Zhao family had been able to rise to its current position was because several special treasure plants grew in the backyard of the Zhao Manor. Master Zhao had spent years using these treasures to recruit powerful cultivators and make them work for him. Seeing so many valuable lotus treasures in front of him, Noah immediately began stuffing as many as he could into his pockets. He even wanted the little crocodile to help him carry some. But when he turned around, he discovered that the little fatty had already eaten its fill and fallen asleep. With no other choice, Noah found a secluded place and eagerly began eating the treasures himself. Watching the water essence and other energy rapidly increase, Noah ate with incredible enthusiasm. He kept eating until his stomach became so bloated that he looked like a 200-pound pregnant woman before finally stopping. After spending a couple of moments digesting the energy, Noah immediately opened his character panel. Looking at his current fusion and essence levels, he decided to prioritize improving his own strength. After wildly adding points to his attributes, Noah could clearly feel his body becoming stronger at an incredible speed. His water control strength had also reached 45 gene. Even if he had to face several members of the Zhao family now, he was confident that he could fight them head-on. However, since he had eaten far too much, Noah decided to spend the next few days slowly digesting all that energy. His immediate problem had been solved for now, but there was still another important issue. Autumn was almost over, and the little crocodile would soon enter hibernation. That meant he probably couldn't rely on fishing anymore. But just as Noah finished worrying about it, a fish suddenly came flying onto the shore. Looking at the clever expression in the little creature's eyes, Noah happily picked up the little fatty. Ha ha! Who was it that said our little fatty was useless? You really deserve a beating. One day, using the experience he had gained from bargaining with vendors at the market, Noah successfully sold the large yellow croaker for 80 copper coins. Just then, a strange thought suddenly occurred to him. If my fans tell me to do something, I'll do it. Streamer, blind Zhong San for our entertainment. Okay. Coincidentally, Zane appeared right behind Noah. What Noah didn't know was that after Zane had returned to the Zhao Manor, he had been severely beaten. The steward then explained that the Zhao Manor had already spent a huge amount of resources raising that water beast. He instructed Zane to bring Noah back to the manor and have him refined into an elixir. He also promised that if Zane handled the matter properly, Master Zhao would personally ask a powerful cultivator to help Zane achieve immortality. As soon as Zane heard this, his expression immediately changed. Despite all the injuries on his body, he suddenly became energetic again. He pulled open his shirt, revealing his skinny ribs, and kept muttering excitedly, "I'm going to become immortal. I'm going to become immortal." Noah, of course, knew nothing about this, but he already understood that the people from the Zhao Manor would never simply let him go. Zane approached Noah while pretending to apologize. "Brother, about what happened a few days ago. It was just a small misunderstanding between us." He then pointed out that his boat was nearby and invited Noah aboard so they could have a proper conversation. But secretly, Zane had already made up his mind. Once the two of them were alone on the boat, he would kill Noah and dispose of his body. What Zane didn't realize was that Noah was thinking exactly the same thing. The two of them soon arrived on the boat. Zane spoke first. "Look at this beautiful scenery. There isn't a single other boat around. Why don't the two of us have a nice chat and settle our differences?" Noah looked at him and asked again, "Are you sure there aren't any other boats nearby?" After Zane confidently confirmed that there were none, Noah slowly stood up. He began controlling the water around them. The next second, a seemingly soft and harmless ball of water suddenly wrapped itself around Zane's head. After swallowing several mouthfuls of water, Zane gradually lost consciousness and passed out. A long time later, Zane slowly woke up from his unconscious state. Noah was sitting quietly in front of him, holding the money pouch he had taken from Zane. It was now obvious that this old man had never intended to let Noah return alive. He had accepted plenty of benefits from the Zhao family in exchange for taking Noah's life. Fortunately, the situation between the two of them had completely reversed. Noah told Zane to take a good look around and see if the surroundings looked familiar. Terrified, the old man immediately began crawling toward Noah and begging for mercy. Across the enormous lake, there was only this one small boat drifting on the water. Noah decided that this ruthless Zane should also experience what it was like to play with a water monster in the middle of the lake. Suddenly, the giant crocodile leaped out of the water and gently placed its chin on Noah's hand. Zane could never have imagined that the water monster that had once devoured humans, without hesitation, had now become Noah's pet. He immediately began kowtowing and begging for mercy. He also promised to tell Noah everything he knew. Noah immediately questioned him. The Zhao Manor has just recruited so many servants. Why was the steward so determined to get me into the Zhao Manor? Zane lowered his head and finally revealed a shocking secret. Those servants aren't really servants. They're all materials that Master Zhao intends to offer for his cultivation. Every one of them has been taken away and used to refine pills. Noah immediately understood what was really happening. Zane had deceived many young people and sent them to the Zhao Manor to be used as cultivation materials. Even when his own death was approaching, old Zane was still trying to make excuses and deny everything. But Noah simply picked up a large stone with one hand and slammed it down in front of him, putting an end to the man's life of evil. After killing Zane, Noah decided to keep a low profile to avoid attracting attention. For the time being, he continued living like an ordinary fisherman, leaving home early every morning and returning late at night to catch fish and sell them for money. Although Zane had been dealt with, Noah knew that the people from the Zhao family behind him definitely wouldn't let the matter go. The only solution was to temporarily join the Yang Martial Arts Academy. The strongest martial arts academy in town was the Yang Martial Arts Academy, whose master possessed the ability to hunt and refine powerful spiritual creatures. As long as Noah could successfully join the martial arts academy, he would have a place to protect himself. After all, if one of the academy's members disappeared, it would cause considerable trouble for the academy. However, there was one problem. The minimum fee to join the martial arts academy was around 5 to 8 taels of silver. Noah currently had only a little over 2 taels. It seemed that he would have to work even harder at fishing. Just then, little Fatty suddenly let out a cry. Only then did Noah remember that he still had a little helper who could assist him with fishing. Ever since little Fatty had evolved last time, Noah's body had gradually adapted to his increased strength, and his mental power had also grown considerably. At the moment, he estimated that he could probably control around 2.5 little fatties at the same time. The two of them immediately entered the water. Fishing underwater was undoubtedly the best choice. Not only could Noah catch fish, but he could also use the opportunity to become more proficient with his abilities. But just as Noah was using his powers to catch fish underwater, a dark shadow suddenly passed beside him. When Noah finally got a clear look at its appearance, he was instantly shocked. Damn, it's an abalone! In this world, some species could undergo evolution, and these creatures that lived in the Great Lakes and marshes were known as abalone beasts. Noah's eyes immediately lit up. Normally, he wasn't even guaranteed to encounter a single one. Yet today, he had unexpectedly come across 2 of them. The two immediately divided their tasks. Noah sent little Fatty after the smaller one, while he continued chasing the larger one in front of him. After realizing that the abalone beast was no ordinary creature, Noah immediately compressed the surrounding water with his ability, creating a brief burst of speed. As soon as he got close to the abalone beast, Noah quickly activated his water control ability and restrained it. But just as he was about to pull the abalone beast into his arms, a huge sound suddenly came from behind him. Noah hurriedly placed the abalone into his bamboo basket, but before he could react, a gigantic claw suddenly clamped tightly around his body. The creature then slammed him heavily onto the bottom of the lake. Looking at the enormous creature in front of him, Noah became extremely frightened. He had heard rumors that there was a man-eating, 6-whiskered catfish lurking at the bottom of the river. He never expected to encounter it today. While Noah was still stunned, the 6-whiskered catfish began gathering power. Fortunately, Noah noticed it in time and attacked with the surrounding water. interrupting its technique. Unfortunately, Noah's attack barely affected the creature. Instead, he was hit by a powerful counterattack and sent flying. Afterward, the six-whiskered catfish even seemed to mock him. Fortunately, little Fatty arrived just in time. With a powerful swing of its tail, it smashed directly into the catfish's head. This finally gave Noah an opportunity to draw a bronze fish blood talisman in his hand. However, Noah had underestimated the mental strength of the six-whiskered catfish. The system continuously began issuing warnings. Fortunately, Noah had previously consumed several tons of treasure plants, which had greatly strengthened his mental power. That allowed him to withstand the system's warnings and successfully tame the six-whiskered catfish. Looking at its chubby appearance, Noah casually gave a name. Kamo. Just as Noah began checking his spoils, little Fatty came over to him and obediently opened its tiny mouth. To Noah's surprise, there was a small abalone inside. Noah was immediately delighted. He grabbed little Fatty and praised it enthusiastically. After all, emotional encouragement had to be given properly. Noah then decided to eat the smaller abalone first and see whether it could increase his strength. After completely consuming the abalone, the system immediately sent a notification. Congratulations! Water essence increased by 18 points. This surprised Noah. He never expected that a single juvenile abalone could provide as much water essence as more than a dozen essence lotus roots. However, there was still one problem. He still had the larger abalone. Judging by their difference in size, if the small one had already provided this much essence, wouldn't the larger one provide 3 times as much? That meant it could potentially give him 50 or 60 points of water essence. If he consumed it, his fusion level could directly break through 10%. The benefits would undoubtedly be enormous. But then Noah remembered that he still needed a large amount of money to join the Yang Martial Arts Academy. After thinking about it, he finally gave up on the idea of eating the larger abalone. The next day, Noah went to the town market, planning to sell the abalone for a good price. But before he had even walked very far, he suddenly spotted something ahead of him. The area around the market stall was already surrounded by people. When Noah walked closer, he discovered that a man named Chun Jiechong was holding a 100-year-old abalone and trying to sell it. Noah immediately realized that this was a rare opportunity. He quickly squeezed through the crowd and walked up to Chun Jiechong. Looks like the heavens really are blessing our little town. You managed to catch 2 abalones in a single day. As he spoke, Noah also took out the abalone he had caught. The moment the crowd saw Noah's abalone, they immediately burst into laughter. Ha ha, that ugly thing is really an abalone. Didn't you just find some random fish and come here hoping to sell it for a fortune? The crowd continued mocking Noah. Even Chen Jiechong looked at him with obvious contempt. Just then, Hu Qi, a martial instructor from the Yang Martial Arts Academy, walked up to Chen Jiechong and asked, "How much are you asking for this abalone?" Chen Jiechong immediately became nervous. Although he made his living by fishing, he didn't even know the proper name or value of the abalone he had caught. So he simply told Hu Qi to make an offer. The moment he heard Hu Qi offer 3 taels of silver, Chen Jiechong was overjoyed. Noah also took the opportunity to bring out his own abalone. The surrounding spectators were still waiting to see Noah make a fool of himself. But what they didn't expect was that the moment Hu Qi saw Noah's abalone, his expression changed completely. "This is a horned abalone." Seeing Hu Qi's reaction, Noah immediately realized that his catch was extremely valuable. He then revealed the true size of the abalone. Hu Qi was indeed a martial instructor from the Yang Martial Arts Academy. Without hesitation, he offered 6 taels and 5 mace of silver for it. The surrounding spectators immediately erupted into discussion. "My goodness, my entire family hasn't been able to save 6 taels of silver even after generations. That kid just sold 1 fish for 6 taels. Tomorrow, I'm taking my entire family out fishing." Chun Jiachong, who had previously looked down on Noah, became extremely uncomfortable after seeing Noah sell his catch for 6 taels and 5 mace. His face darkened, and he quickly left the scene. Noah then took the opportunity to ask Hu Chi, "Why is this horned abalone worth so much money?" As an experienced expert, Hu Chi naturally answered the ordinary man's question in detail. It turned out that the horned abalone wasn't valuable merely because of its meat. Even its feet had an important use. If properly refined into medicinal pills, it could extract and concentrate vital energy, helping cultivators break through their blood energy bottleneck. Coincidentally, Hu Chi himself had been stuck at this bottleneck for quite some time. Noah thanked him for the explanation. Deep down, he was relieved. Fortunately, he had kept the smaller abalone's valuable parts instead of throwing them away. After thanking Hu Chi, Noah found a secluded place and began counting the money in his small pouch. But just as he was happily counting his earnings, Liam, Noah's friend, suddenly came from behind and wrapped his arms around him. He shouted excitedly, "Good job, brother. You really made our little town proud." Noah was startled by the sudden appearance. "Oh, it's you. Speaking of which, I never properly thank you for what happened that day." But the moment Noah finished speaking, Liam gave him a mischievous smile. It looked like he had been waiting for Noah to say those exact words. "Then give me all 6 taels." Noah obviously knew his friend was only joking. He quickly held all his money tightly against his chest. Then he asked Liam about the cost of joining the Young Martial Arts Academy. Liam immediately looked proud. "You came to the right person. My father is actually preparing to send me there. The Young Martial Arts Academy charges 7 taels without food or accommodation. 10 taels includes accommodation, and 20 taels includes both accommodation and medicinal baths. Food has to be paid for separately, although it was slightly more expensive than the other 2 martial academies in town. The price also reflected the fact that the Young Martial Arts Academy was considered the strongest." After hearing this, Noah fell into deep thought. After doing a series of calculations, 1 plus 1 equals 2, 2 plus 2 equals 4. Noah finally realized that he actually had more than 9 taels of silver. He immediately jumped to his feet and excitedly said, "Then let's go register together tomorrow." Just as the 2 friends were happily joking around, another system notification suddenly appeared in Noah's mind. Treasure fish detected. At the same time, inside a secret room at the Zhao Manor, Steward Zhao was reporting to Master Zhao, "We've searched everywhere, but we still can't find old Zane." The investigation eventually led to a young man named Noah, but the trail ends there. Master Zhao became furious after hearing this. "Do you really need to bother me every day with such a trivial matter? Deal with it yourself." Steward Zhao's expression immediately became gloomy.